The crayon drawing sits on my lap like evidence. A child's scribble, stick figures in purple and green, a house with a crooked door, a sun with too many rays. But it's the face in the corner that stops my breath. The face with X's for eyes and a red slash across the mouth. Above it, in 3-year-old handwriting that barely forms letters, Dad sad. I look at Marcus Whitfield, tech billionaire, philanthropist, the man whose smile graces magazine covers, and I see what my daughter Emma saw. What she drew before she could fully speak. I see the truth he's been hiding from everyone, including himself. Mr. Whitfield, I say carefully, we need to talk about this picture. He glances up from his laptop, distracted, the way he's been for 3 months. That's nice, Sofia. Put it with the others. No. My voice is steady. You need to look at it. Something in my tone makes him focus. He takes the drawing, studies it. His face goes pale. Where did she? He starts. She drew what she sees, I tell him. Children always do. 3 months earlier, the Whitfield penthouse occupies the top 3 floors of Manhattan's newest luxury tower. Floor-to-ceiling windows frame Central Park like a painting. The furniture costs more than I earned in a decade of caregiving work. I stand in the marble foyer with Emma on my hip, my resume clutched in my free hand, trying not to feel small. The household manager, Patricia, leads me through rooms that echo with emptiness despite being full of expensive things. Mr. Whitfield needs someone reliable, she explains. His previous assistant left rather suddenly. He works from home primarily now. He'll need meals prepared, household management, someone to handle the details. I'm experienced with all of that, I say, adjusting Emma's weight. She's quiet today, watching everything with those serious dark eyes that see too much for a 3-year-old. Patricia pauses. The child. She'll need to stay quiet during work hours. Mr. Whitfield requires focus. She's very good. I promise, knowing it's true. Emma has been good since her father died. Too good. Too quiet. The kind of quiet that comes from learning early that the world doesn't always have room for a child's noise. Marcus Whitfield enters like weather changing, sudden presence filling the space. 42, handsome in that sharp-suited way, with eyes that look past you while seeming to see everything. Sofia Reyes? He shakes my hand with efficient warmth. Patricia says you're highly qualified. Thank you for this opportunity, Mr. Whitfield. He glances at Emma. She's welcome here. There's plenty of space. The West guest room can be set up for her. Toys, whatever she needs. The generosity surprises me. The emptiness in his voice when he says it doesn't. I appreciate that, I say. I just need things to run smoothly. He's already pulling out his phone, his attention fracturing. I have a product launch in 6 months. Everything else is noise. I recognize the tone. The single-minded focus that looks like dedication but feels like drowning. I've heard it before. In my husband's voice, before the depression took him completely. The first week, I learned the ecosystem of Marcus Whitfield's carefully controlled world. He wakes at 5, runs 10 miles on the treadmill in the home gym, eats exactly 3 scrambled egg whites and black coffee, works from 7 until midnight with breaks only for meals I prepare and deliver to his office. He takes no calls except from his COO, accepts no visitors, leaves the penthouse only for essential meetings. He used to be different, Patricia tells me on day 4, her voice low. Before the accident, he had friends, hobbies. He laughed. What accident? She looks at me with something like pity. You don't know? His wife and daughter. Car accident, 18 months ago. Victoria and little Lily. She was 4. The words land like stones in water, ripples spreading outward. He survived. He was driving. Patricia's voice drops to a whisper. He walked away with a concussion. They died at the scene. I understand then. The empty penthouse. The obsessive work. The way he looks through people like they're ghosts. He's been looking through his own reflection for 18 months. Emma notices first. On day 7, she brings me a drawing. A man at a desk, surrounded by scribbled darkness. Dada sad, she says, pointing. That's Mr. Whitfield, honey. Not Dada. Sad like Dada, she insists. My husband Miguel was sad too. Depression that started small, missing work, sleeping late, then grew until it swallowed him whole, until he couldn't see past it, until he made a choice that left Emma and me alone. I know what that kind of sad looks like. And Emma, who watched her father disappear into it, knows too. Yes, baby, I say quietly. He's sad like Dada was. I should stay out of it. Do my job. Keep my head down. I'm the maid, not his therapist. But I'd been the person who stayed silent before. Who didn't see the signs, didn't ask the questions, didn't push past the wall someone built to hide their pain. I watched Miguel smile and say he was fine while dying inside. Not again. I start paying attention differently. Marcus eats but doesn't taste. Works but doesn't engage. Speaks but doesn't connect. He's going through motions, checking boxes, maintaining the appearance of functionality while hollowing out from the inside. He keeps Lily's room exactly as it was. Door closed, untouched, a shrine to a 4-year-old who loved unicorns and finger painting. He keeps Victoria's closet full of clothes that still smell like her perfume. He keeps living like someone waiting for permission to stop. On day 15, I find him standing in Lily's doorway at 2 a.m. Just standing, staring. Mr. Whitfield, I say softly. He startles. I thought I heard. He stops. Realizes how it sounds. I'm fine. You're not sleeping. I sleep enough. You're not eating more than survival requires. I eat what I need. You're not living, Mr. Whitfield. You're existing. His face hardens. That's inappropriate, Sofia. I know. I don't back down. But it's true. We stand in the dark hallway, the ghost of his daughter between us. I don't need a therapist, he says finally. I need someone to manage my household. Then I'll manage your household. But I won't pretend not to see what's happening. He looks at me then. Really looks, for the first time. And what's happening? You're drowning, I say. And you're so deep you don't even know you need air. The next morning, Emma draws another picture. This one shows the sad man at the desk. But she's added something. A little girl standing in the corner, watching him. Not Emma. The hair is wrong, blonde instead of dark. Who is this? I ask. His girl, Emma says. She misses him. My chest tightens. Because Emma has never met Lily. Has never seen photos. Marcus keeps them all put away. Doesn't know anything about Marcus's daughter. But somehow, she drew her anyway. Children see things we miss. Feel things we've learned to ignore. They exist in the space between what is and what haunts us. And Emma, who lost her father to invisible pain, recognizes someone else being haunted. I take the drawing to Marcus that evening. He stares at it for a long time. How did she? I don't know, I admit. But she sees you, Mr. Whitfield. And she's trying to tell you something. What? I think of Miguel. Of the signs I missed. Of the questions I didn't ask. That you're still here, I say. And that matters. Marcus doesn't speak for 3 full minutes. He holds Emma's drawing like it might dissolve, his fingers trembling slightly. The blonde stick figure in the corner, Lily, though I never told Emma her name, stares at the sad man with round circle eyes. Children don't just. He starts, then stops. She couldn't have known. Known what? Lily used to draw me at my desk. His voice cracks. Every morning before preschool, she'd bring me pictures of us together. I'd put them on my office wall. He gestures to the wall behind him. Bare now, pristine white, empty of everything except expensive abstract art. I took them all down, he whispers. After. I couldn't, seeing her handwriting, her little drawings. Where are they now? Storage unit. Across town. Boxes of her things I couldn't throw away but can't look at. I sit down across from him, uninvited. Mr. Whitfield, can I tell you about my husband? He looks up, surprised. Miguel was a carpenter. Funny, warm, present. Until he wasn't. Depression came slowly, then all at once. He stopped talking about it. Stopped letting me in. Told me he was fine when he was dying inside. Marcus's jaw tightens. I believed him because it was easier than pushing. Easier than making him uncomfortable. I let him say he was fine until the day he wasn't here anymore. I'm sorry, Marcus says quietly. I learned something from losing him. Silence protects no one. And the people who need help most are usually best at pretending they don't. I'm not suicidal, he says sharply. No, but you're not living either. He sets down the drawing. What do you want from me, Sofia? I want you to get the boxes. What? From the storage unit. Lily's drawings. Bring them here. Absolutely not. I can't. You're keeping her memory locked away like it's too dangerous to touch. Like if you feel it, you'll break. I will break, he says, and the rawness in his voice fills the room. Then break, I say gently. Break and find out you survive it. He doesn't get the boxes that night. But the next morning, Emma draws again. This time, it's a house, his penthouse, I think, with its distinctive windows. But she's added something that doesn't exist. a garden on the terrace, flowers in bright crayon colors, and two figures standing in it, a man and a small blonde girl. For the sad man, Emma tells me, pressing it into my hands. So he remembers happy. I find Marcus in his office at noon, staring at spreadsheets without seeing them. She made you something, I say, offering the drawing. He takes it, stares. His breath catches. Victoria wanted a terrace garden, he says. We talked about it. Hiring a landscaper, getting planters, growing vegetables with Lily. We never did it. I kept saying next month, next quarter, when work slows down. It's not too late. They're dead, Sofia. His voice is flat. It's absolutely too late. I meant for you. It's not too late for you to have something living around you instead of all this. I gesture at the pristine, lifeless office. Emptiness. I don't deserve. Stop. The sharpness in my voice surprises us both. Don't finish that sentence. You don't understand. Then explain it to me. He stands, paces to the window. 30 stories below, the city moves like blood through veins, alive, indifferent, ongoing. I was checking my phone, he says, at a red light. Just for a second. The light changed. I looked up, started driving. I didn't see the truck running the cross street. Didn't see it until impact. His reflection in the glass looks like a ghost. Victoria died on impact. Lily, his voice breaks. Lily held on for 40 minutes. Held my hand. Asked if we were going to the park like I promised. Asked if mommy was sleeping. Asked if I was sad. Tears streamed down his face now. I told her I wasn't sad. That everything would be okay. I lied to my daughter while she died because I was too fucking broken to tell her the truth. I crossed him. Put my hand on his shoulder. He doesn't pull away. You gave her comfort, I say. In her last moments, you gave her peace. That wasn't a lie, Mr. Whitfield. That was love. I killed them. An accident killed them. A split second of human imperfection in a chaotic world. You didn't choose it. You didn't want it. You would have died instead if you could. Every day, he whispers. Every single day I wish I had. I know. Miguel felt that way too. Like living was betraying everyone he loved by still being here. Like happiness was obscene when they were gone. How did you help him? I didn't. The admission hurts. I tried, but not hard enough. Not loudly enough. I respected his walls instead of tearing them down. I let him suffer privately because confronting it felt invasive. I turn him to face me. I won't make that mistake again. So I'm going to keep pushing. Keep asking. Keep putting my daughter's strange, impossible drawings in front of you until you remember that you're still alive, and that means something. Why? The question is raw. Why do you care? Because Emma sees you. And when she draws you, she draws someone worth saving. Children don't lie about that. The next drawing appears 3 days later. Emma makes it during breakfast, humming to herself. When she finishes, she carries it solemnly to Marcus's office. I follow worried. But Marcus waves me in. What do you have for me today, Emma? He asks. His voice is gentler than I've heard it. Emma climbs into his lap, uninvited, unafraid, the way 3-year-olds do. She shows him the picture. It's the two of them, Marcus and Emma, holding hands, both smiling. You sound like my dad was, Emma says seriously. But you can be happy different. Like me and Mama. Marcus's arms close around her carefully, like she's made of glass. How do you be happy different? He whispers. You remember the happy, Emma says. And you make new happy. Both together. She says it so simply. Like it's obvious. Like grief and joy can coexist without one betraying the other. Marcus looks at me over her head. His eyes are wet. Out of the mouths of babes, I say softly. He holds Emma for a long moment. Then he sets her down gently. Sofia, he says. Call the storage facility. Tell them I'm coming for my daughter's boxes. We bring them home that afternoon. 6 boxes of a 4-year-old's life. Drawings. Toys. Clothes. Books. Photos. Marcus sits on the floor of his pristine living room, surrounded by memories, and opens the first box. It's full of drawings. Hundreds of them. Stick figure families. Rainbow houses. Pictures of daddy at work. Mommy in the garden. Lily with her cat. He spreads them on the marble floor. Touches each one like a prayer. Emma wanders over, studies them seriously. She loved you, Emma announces. I can tell. How can you tell? Marcus asks. Emma points to a drawing of Marcus with a crown. She made you a king. That's love. Marcus laughs, sudden, broken, real. The first laugh I've heard from him. She did make me a king, he says. Every morning. King of the castle. He looks at me. I forgot. I've been so deep in the accident, in the guilt, in what I lost. I forgot what I had. You didn't forget, I say. You buried it because it hurt too much to remember. It does hurt. He touches Lily's drawings. God, it hurts. But you're feeling it now. That's the first step. Over the next week, the penthouse transforms. Marcus hangs Lily's drawings in his office. Not all of them. He's not ready for that. But a few. Enough to remember. He unpacks one of her stuffed animals, a purple unicorn named Sparkles. Puts it on the shelf in the living room. He looks at photos. Not for hours, not obsessively, but in measured doses. Remembering. Emma helps. She sits with him, asks questions about Lily. What games did she like? What was her favorite color? Did she like dinosaurs? Marcus answers. And in answering, he starts talking about Victoria too. About their life before. About happiness that existed and still matters even though it's gone. Thank you, he tells me one evening, for not letting me disappear. You're welcome. But thank Emma. She's the one who saw you. He looks at my daughter, coloring at the coffee table. She has a gift. She has empathy. She learned it from pain. Sometimes that's how we get our superpowers. Some superpower, he says sadly. Born from losing her father. But real nonetheless. She sees what others miss. Just like I learned to look for signs I messed with. Miguel. Grief teaches us to notice. I'm going to call a therapist, Marcus says suddenly. A real one. Someone qualified. This isn't your job. No, I agree. But I'm glad I did it anyway. The call comes on a Tuesday morning, 6 weeks after the first drawing. I'm preparing breakfast when Marcus emerges from his office holding his phone, his face unreadable. That was Dr. Morrison, he says. The therapist you helped me find. She wants me to join a grief support group. For parents who've lost children. That's good, I say carefully. I said yes. He sounds surprised at himself. I actually said yes. How do you feel about that? Terrified. But maybe that means it's necessary. Emma wanders in, clutching her current art project. She's been drawing all morning. Unusual even for her. I made something, she announces, climbing onto a chair. She spreads the paper on the kitchen table. It's different from her other drawings. More detailed. More intentional. 3 figures, a man, a woman, and a small girl. But they're fading, drawn in light pencil, almost transparent. And standing in front of them, drawn in bold, bright crayon. Marcus. Solid. Present. Real. Behind him, she's drawn more figures. Emma, me, and others I don't recognize. A whole community of people. Above it all, in her careful 3-year-old letters. Not alone. Marcus stares at it. His hand covers his mouth. Emma. I say gently, what does this mean? She points to the fading figures. His family. They're always there. Then to Marcus. But he's here now. With people who love him now. Who are all these people? Marcus asks, pointing to the figures behind him. The people who help, Emma says matter-of-factly. Everyone needs helpers. Marcus picks her up suddenly, hugging her tight. You're very wise, you know that. I know. Emma says seriously, and we all laugh. The grief support group meets Thursday evenings in a church basement in Brooklyn. Marcus asks me to drive him to the first meeting. I don't trust myself not to turn around, he admits. We drop him off. Emma and I wait in a coffee shop across the street. Is he going to be okay? Emma asks, sipping hot chocolate. I think so. Eventually. Good. He's not as sad anymore. I can tell. How can you tell? She thinks about it. His colors are different when I draw him. Used to be all dark purple and gray. Now there's yellow sometimes. I pull her close. You have such a big heart, baby. Like you, Mama. Marcus emerges 2 hours later, drained but lighter somehow. How was it? I ask as we drive home. Hard. Everyone there. They've all lost children. Different ways. Illness. Accidents. One woman's son was murdered. Their pain is, he stops. But they're surviving it. They're living with it. Not past it. With it. That's important, I say. One man said something that stuck with me. He said, my daughter died. I didn't. Figuring out what to do with that fact is the work. That's profound. I've been acting like I died too. Like I had to die to honor them. But maybe, he pauses. Maybe the way I honor them is by living deliberately. By making the time I still have matter. The next morning, Marcus makes a call that changes everything. I'm stepping back from the product launch, he tells his COO on speakerphone. Promoting you to lead it. I'm taking a leave of absence. The COO sputters protests. The company needs him. The investors expect him. The timeline requires his involvement. The company will be fine, Marcus says firmly. And I need to not be fine for a while. I need to fall apart and put myself back together properly this time. When he hangs up, he looks at me. I'm going to start the terrace garden. The one Victoria wanted. Will you help me? Of course. We spend the weekend transforming the terrace. Marcus hires landscapers who install planters, irrigation, trellises. We choose plants together, vegetables Victoria loved, flowers Lily would have adored, herbs for cooking. Emma helps by digging enthusiastically in dirt and narrating everything to her stuffed animals. Patricia watches from the doorway, crying quietly. He's smiling, she whispers to me. I haven't seen him smile in 18 months. He's remembering how, I say. The garden becomes Marcus's therapy. Every morning, he spends an hour out there, watering, pruning, talking to the plants, or maybe to Victoria and Lily. I don't ask. Emma joins him often, planting seeds with intense focus, asking him questions about everything. Why do flowers grow? She asks one day. Because they're supposed to, Marcus says. It's what they do. Even after winter, they come back. Like happiness, Emma announces. Marcus looks at her. Yes, like happiness. 3 months after the first drawing, Marcus does something I don't expect. He opens Lily's room. Not to change it, not to pack it away, but to let it exist as part of the penthouse instead of a sealed tomb. He invites Emma inside, shows her Lily's toys, books, the unicorn collection. Would you like to play with some of these? He asks. Lily would want them to be loved, not just preserved. Emma's eyes go wide. Really? Really? Choose anything you'd like. Emma selects a stuffed purple dragon and a picture book about a girl who befriends the moon. Thank you, she says solemnly. I'll take good care of them. I know you will. That evening, Marcus calls me into his office. I've been thinking, he says, about everything you've done, everything Emma has done. You didn't just keep my household running, Sofia. You saved my life. I just paid attention. I say, you did more than that. You refused to let me hide. You and your daughter saw me when I'd made myself invisible. And I need to, he pauses. I'm establishing a foundation for families dealing with grief and loss. Support groups, therapy funding, resources for parents who've lost children and children who've lost parents. My throat tightens. I'm calling it the Lily and Victoria Whitfield Foundation for Healing, and I want you to help me run it. Marcus, I'm not qualified. You're the most qualified person I know. You understand loss. You understand what it takes to survive it and help others survive it. Emma understands it too, somehow. That empathy you talked about. We need that in this world. I think about Miguel, about the resources we didn't have, the support that didn't exist, the silence that killed him. Okay, I say, yes, let's do it. The foundation launches 6 months later. We operate from a renovated brownstone in Brooklyn. We employ grief counselors, peer support specialists, child psychologists. We offer free therapy, support groups, crisis intervention. We help people who are drowning learn to breathe again. Marcus is different now. Not healed. He's clear about that. Grief doesn't end. He tells support groups. You just learn to carry it differently. But he's living, working with purpose, connecting with people. He smiles. He laughs. He tells stories about Lily and Victoria without breaking. He tends his garden every morning. And sometimes I see him talking to the flowers, updating Victoria on his day, telling Lily about the foundation's latest success. It's not closure. It's integration. Emma still draws. But her pictures of Marcus are different now. Full of color. Full of life. No more X's for eyes or sad faces. Her latest drawing shows him in the garden, surrounded by flowers, with 2 transparent figures standing beside him. A woman and a girl, faint but present. Not haunting him, accompanying him. They're proud of him. Emma tells me, pointing to the figures. How do you know? I could feel it. They want him to be happy. I believe her. Children know things we forget. They see what's real beneath what's visible. On the 1-year anniversary of finding Marcus standing in Lily's doorway, we hold a memorial service in the terrace garden. Marcus, me, Emma, Patricia, and members from the grief support group. We light candles for those we've lost. We share memories. We cry. We laugh. Marcus reads a letter he wrote to Lily and Victoria. I'm sorry I lost myself when I lost you. I'm sorry I tried to honor you by dying inside. I'm learning that the way to love you now is to live fully, to help others, to grow things, to let joy and grief exist together. You made me a better person when you were here. I'm trying to let you keep making me better now that you're gone. His voice breaks, but he finishes. Afterward, Emma takes his hand. They heard you, she says confidently. You think so? I know so. They're always listening. Marcus keeps Lily's drawings on his office wall now. All of them. A gallery of crayon love that reminds him daily what mattered, what still matters, what will always matter. He keeps Victoria's photo on his desk, not hidden away, but present. A reminder that love doesn't end just because life does. He keeps the garden thriving, keeps the foundation growing, keeps himself open to connection instead of sealed away in grief. He's not the same man he was before the accident. That man is gone, along with the life he knew. But he's becoming someone new. Someone who understands that surviving tragedy isn't about returning to who you were. It's about discovering who you can be when everything you knew has been destroyed. Emma and I still live in the penthouse. Marcus insists, says we're family now. My role has evolved into something between household manager and foundation director and friend. Sometimes I think about Miguel, about what might have been different if someone had pushed past his walls. If someone had refused to accept his assurances that he was fine. I can't change the past. Can't save him. Can't give Emma her father back. But I can honor what his loss taught me. That silence protects no one. That asking hard questions is an act of love. That the people who seem fine are sometimes the ones drowning deepest. On a Sunday morning 2 years after that first drawing, Emma bursts into the kitchen with fresh paper. Look, Mama. Look what I made. It's a portrait of our family now. Her, me, and Marcus. All holding hands. All smiling. Behind us, faint and peaceful, 2 other figures, Miguel and a small blonde girl. Everyone's together, Emma explains. The ones here and the ones watching. All one family. Marcus, making coffee nearby, sees it. He kneels down to Emma's level. Thank you, he says, for teaching me that people can be gone but not forgotten. Present but not haunting. Part of us, but not all of us. You're welcome, Emma says. That's what love does. It stays even when people go. She skips off to play, leaving the drawing on the table. Marcus and I stand side by side, looking at it. She's extraordinary, he says. She learned from pain. I reply. We all did. Do you think we're okay? Really okay? I consider this. I think we're healing. And that's better than okay. That's alive. If this story touched you, if you've ever lost someone, ever wondered how to carry grief without being crushed by it, ever needed permission to live despite loss, I want you to know something. Healing doesn't mean forgetting. It means integrating. It means carrying your loved ones forward not as anchors, but as light. The people we lose don't want us to die with them. They want us to live for them. And sometimes the smallest voice, a child's drawing, a gentle push, a refusal to accept someone's walls, can save a life. Be the person who notices, who asks questions, who refuses to let people disappear into their pain. Be the person who plants gardens after winter. Be the person who believes that happiness and grief can coexist, that the dead and the living can occupy the same heart, that love continues even when life doesn't. Because sometimes, that belief changes everything. The maids of the world, the overlooked ones, the underestimated ones, the ones who clean up messes and see what others miss. We know that the smallest observations matter most. We know that children see truth adults hide from. We know that asking, "Are you okay?" and refusing to accept, "I'm fine," can be the difference between someone surviving and someone surrendering. That knowledge is a responsibility, but it's also a gift. Use it. Notice people. Ask questions. Push past walls. You might save a life. You might save yourself. And you'll discover what Emma knew all along. That love stays, even when everything else changes. That we're never really alone. That healing is possible, even when it seems impossible. That sometimes, the portrait a child draws reveals the truth an adult needs to see. And in that revelation, the world shatters, then rebuilds itself into something stronger, more honest, more whole.